Hello, you lovely Hammers fans. It's Nick from Claret and Booze back for a match debrief that I said I wasn't going to record if you read my community post this morning because I was feeling so fed up. But things have changed. Football, it's changed me. Not West Ham, but the team that I manage, my son's team. So Cuffley Stars, I'm going to go on to talk in depth about what went wrong yesterday, more so than on the pitch. I've got a lot of moaning to do. But before I do get into me moaning, I'm going to talk about my boys' team today because we've had it tough this year. Before I get into that, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, drop a like on the video because it does really help us. So yes, I'm going to be self-indulgent. I know that most of you don't care, but I'm going to say it anyway because my boys care and I'm going to send them a link to this video. So please be nice to them in the description of this video because they've earned it. I've managed them for 4 years. This is the 5th year now and we've had successive promotions. We've gone all the way up to the top flight now. And we've struggled. It's been hard. Played good football, but it's unforgiving at this level, and we've been punished on several occasions. You know, we could have won a couple, but you know we haven't. We've fallen short. And we played a team today in Cheshunt, who are one of the best teams in that division, and they've beaten us just recently as well. We gave them a good game, but again, they had too much for us. And what I've done just recently is I've turned the team upside down. I've had to try and find a way. And I basically put, forwards that have always been forwards at centre back. I've changed all their roles around, and it just looks so much better. So I did that in the last game, and I've continued that in this game, and we were fantastic. This was a cup game against Cheshunt at their place. First half, you can see we're good. We're in control, playing some really, really good football, and we went 1-0 down. We did go 1-0 down, but our heads didn't drop. We pulled it back to 1-1, half-time. Second half, we go 3-1 up. Some brilliant goals. And with 20 minutes to go, they pull it back to 3-3. And I'm sitting there thinking, oh, no, with 10 minutes to go, sorry. They pull it back to 3-3. And I'm thinking, oh, no. Now they're in the ascendancy. The momentum's swung, so to speak. So we kind of suffered it for about 5 minutes. And then I switched our centre-back to centre-forward. Tactical masterstroke, another one, because I made another good one at half-time as well. I've got a 10 out of 10 from the boys today, just so you know. Put our centre-back as a centre-forward. He scored within 2 minutes. We went 4-3 up. And then with 5 minutes to go, we closed the game out. I made him then go back to centre-back because he's got loads of pace and he's good in that position. And, we was managing the game well. You had Freddie over in the corner, time wasting, sort of holding onto the ball. It was fantastic. One of the best games I've watched. I'm so proud of them because at this age, this is the age where a lot of boys and a lot of teams fold because, they get interested in other things and they're not good. They don't bother if they lose. But this lot, they've had their bum smacks quite a few times this season, undeservedly in some cases, deservedly in others. And they've never stopped giving everything for the team. So I'm going to give all of them a shout out today. The man of the match, first and foremost, Harry Brown, our goalkeeper. Brilliant, He isn't the captain, but he's just another one of those leader figures that we've got in the team. We've got a lot of them. Then I'm going to go to Harry Morrell. Absolutely fantastic. He's a player that's always been either a centre-back or a CDM. I've been starting him up front. Just chases the ball down tirelessly. Then we've got Jake, fantastic at right back, really good technical player. George in central midfield, just brilliant. Harry Stamford, the centre-back that I switched to centre-forward, scored the goal, went back to centre-back again. He's predominantly, him and Freddie have been our goal scorers for that time, but he's just brilliant. Freddie, just tireless running in midfield, and he scored 2 of our goals today. He's a phenomenal player, some great time wasting as well. One of our new recruits, Teddy, just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. He's a centre-back, big lad, runs a lot, very organised, another leader-type character in the team, brilliant. Then we've got Amari, a guy just tireless running. He's rapid. He's got rockets in his shoes. He just keeps going. He was brilliant today as well. They had an issue. We had an issue with one player, a tricky player on the wing for them today. And at half time, I basically just pulled him back from the wing and just said, Amari, just mark him. In fact, I made a bit of a mistake because what happened was halfway through that second half, they switched him to the other wing and I didn't notice. And that's how, so just to get away from Amari. And that's how they scored their second goal because he chopped inside and put a love. But he wouldn't have done that if I'd have just told Amari to follow him. So that was a bad one on my part. Louis Salmon, our captain, fantastic. Proper leader. Brilliant. Scored a goal today as well. Yeah, just top notch. My son Ben, brilliant. Tireless running in midfield. You know, very, very combative. Some great challenges. Yeah, really proud of him. Then we've got Rummer, the Broxbourne bouncer. Massive. Does too much bench press. He's like Antonio. Absolutely fantastic. You know, played him right wing, left wing. He's just great player. Then we've got another new recruit in Charlie, Chaz. You know, really, really good when came on, stuck him up front. And we got Oscar, another new recruit from the summer, played really well at left back and at left wing. And Kevin, who was fantastic today, and of course Tom, who's out injured at the moment with his hip. But I want to give you all a shout, boys. Thank you very much for sticking with it. And didn't that feel good today? You know, you showed some real balls for the season that you've just had to come through and show that much character when it looked like it was slipping away again. And yeah, no, just class. Love you all. Right, on to West Ham. Sorry for boring any of you that didn't care about any of that. But I don't care because I'm happy now because of the Cuffley Stars. Now let's make myself miserable. Okay, West Ham, as we know, got battered again. I've spoken about the game in depth. I'm not going to pull it all apart. I'm not going to talk about the players' individual performances. Just go more high level, really. What is going on at this club? The fact of the matter is we had Ruud van Nistelrooy lined up and ready to take that job. He was holding off on taking the Leicester job based on the outcome of the Newcastle game. We got over the line against Newcastle and he accepted the Leicester job. He's gone. That ship has sailed. Now, I'm not saying that he is the be-all and end-all. I'm not saying there's no other managers out there that we could get that wouldn't do a good job. But he, for me, would have been a perfect character, the type of character that I want to see us bring in next. And that is a character, a personality. I said it on the show yesterday. For me, after watching Bilic on the West Ham network, it reminded me of why I loved Bilic so much. And that is because he felt like he was one of us. You know, he was a conduit between the team and the fans. And my God, do we need someone like that, some character like that in this situation that we're in currently, especially with that stadium where we're also disconnected. We need somebody that can do that, you know. So I just feel like that's another mistake by West Ham because ultimately I think we saw against Arsenal it was a broken clock moment with Lopetegui. You know, one good performance in 12 just typifies that. And we've reverted straight back to being crap, being absolutely crap. So he's going to go. It's going to end. It's going to end at some point. Unfortunately, it is. Now, also, I want to give a mention to Lopetegui as well, because we was all talking about how dishevelled he was. Apparently, the reason he went back to Spain and the reason he's probably looking so rough as what he does at the moment is because his dad's not well, apparently badly ill at the moment. So he's got some personal issues as well. So, yeah, thoughts and prayers go out to your dad, Loppy. This isn't personal because, to be quite honest, as much as I will criticise you for being a poor manager because I completely believe that, I've got the ump with everyone at this football club at this moment in time. Everyone except Lopetegui. I don't think Lopetegui should still be here. He was a wrong man to have recruited. He definitely should still not be here. He's being thrown under the bus. He's not being helped. We've got it wrong since that cup win. Everything's started to slide. This summer we had an opportunity to go again to rebuild. They got it all wrong. It's just catastrophic what they've done. And the players as well. Now, look, you can't knock the players for putting in the effort, but how can you be shit and not put in the running that they've obviously not been putting in all season long? And then it comes to that game where all of us are about to be put out of our misery against Newcastle, and this nightmare is about to be over, and we're about to move Lopetegui on and get a new manager in, and then they put in like the performance of their lives. Paqueta turns into the player that he ain't been for 18 months. Antonio loses about 10 years off of his age. Bowen was brilliant. All of these players were fantastic, and they saved that man's job. They did it. Now, whether it's for personal reasons, because, you know, they felt some guilt, they felt empathy towards Lopetegui, they saw the state of him, I don't know. But there was nothing different tactically. The only difference was the fact that they ran their asses off in that game. But it was short-lived. So they've saved his job, and then they've just kind of reverted back to type. The only time we ever saw anywhere near the intensity on display against Newcastle was when we got the second goal back and it was 4-2, and then we saw some fight, we saw some spirit, we saw some running. We should have started the game like that. We should have, but we didn't. So there's a lot of criticism being sort of leveraged at the players from my perspective now. They've saved this manager after being shit for ages, and then they've gone back to being shit again. Why is that exactly? I don't get it. I don't understand it. Yeah, if you're behind the manager, you're behind the manager. But clearly you're fucking not, are you? And I think all of them as a collective, just shocking. Absolutely shocking from them. From the board downwards, everything is wrong with this club at the moment. I don't know how I'm going to kind of build myself back up to even give a fuck. I don't care. If he gets sacked on Monday, I'm going to feel numb. I am. There will be no excitement because I know that they've messed up and the manager that we should have got in, we didn't. We're probably just going to go and get Potter now. That's probably what will happen, you know, because he's still sniffing around. No one else will give him a job. So it will be us that likely give him a job because nobody else will. You know, he's been out of work for 18 months. And he was seen at the Newcastle away game. He's definitely sniffing around. I think he's a friend of somebody that Brady knows. You know, I think the wives know each other. True story, by the way. So he's definitely kind of being pushed in, which is kind of what happened with Lopetegui. It was just friends, you know. It wasn't the right man for the job. We'll do the same again. So I've got no excitement that this board will act at the right time, which they absolutely won't. Because if we lose, he won't get sacked now. He won't be sacked on Monday. And if he was to lose against Leicester and we would be absolutely embarrassed by Van Nistelrooy, would you bet against that? I fucking wouldn't. We should beat Leicester off the park. But in this situation, I'm not so sure. So how embarrassing would that be? Probably what will happen then, if that happens, he'll get another last game. And then do you know what will happen? The players will turn up and they'll save him again for one game only. That's what they'll do. And they'll just perpetuate this misery that we're having to suffer this season, that we've had to suffer as West Ham fans if you're a football purist and you like your football, for about 2 years since the win, even beyond that. Because, I mean, the cup aside, that was great, but that Premier League season was shit. So this is like the third successive shit season in the league. It's depressing, dismal. It's awful. So I don't really know where we go from here as fans. The stadium, we know the problem's there, but you go one step further and you look at the mess, the absolute mess that was caused by the Arsenal fans in our end. You know, yesterday, there was tear-ups. I was contacted by someone that was basically in the vicinity of a 50-man brawl. John said that he saw it, but this guy had his kids with him. He had his kids with him, and it's all booting off in there because you've got loads and loads and loads of away supporters that have been given tickets in the home end. That is what we have to put up with now. Not only do we have to suffer our team being brutalised on the pitch and us being embarrassed and us being judged when we choose to leave at 4-0, which is absolutely our fucking choice. People like Gary Neville choosing to judge us. We've got to suffer close proximity contact with these wankers that have clearly got no respect for the fact that they're sitting in a home end of a team and it just booted off everywhere, you know, because there was a lot of Arsenal fans as well. So the whole thing just stinks. It stinks. You know, when you look at what they've done this season with concessions, with price rises, the club's rotten from top to bottom. And I just don't see where we go from here. I'm losing my love for West Ham at the minute. Fast. It's going, it's dissipating, you know. I mean, that today, what I had this morning, kids football, that's what football should feel like. It gave me joy. It did. You know, I was managing the team, but I felt like I always feel just like a spectator, you know. I'm not very professional. I do sort of jump about and celebrate, and I'm no different to what I was when I was just a parent, to be honest, you know. So, yeah, it was wonderful, and that's what football should be. That's how it should feel, and that is not what West Ham are now, you know. More heart and passion from a load of 15-year-olds today than what we see from these highly paid professionals in that shit tip of a stadium. That's the long and short of it. That's what I'm seeing. But look, anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know whether you think he will go, who you think the replacement should be, whether you think this can be fixed, whether you think it's beyond repair. Just let me know what you think is going to happen next or what needs to be done, because I'm at a loss with West Ham. I truly am. Anyway, look, drop a like on the video. Pop over to the Kent and Sussex Tea and Coffee Company if you haven't already, because you can get 20% off on their hot chocolate, tea, coffee, and their accessories. If you use our Claret20 discount code at checkout, you'll get a nice juicy discount for Christmas. The hot chocolate's banging, by the way. Absolutely banging. Yeah, drop a like on the video. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll speak to you all soon. And well done, you stars. Love you all. Come on, you irons.